What if I told you that a powerful battle is happening right now, one that you might not even see? A battle not just between good and evil, but between a narcissist fallen angel and the chosen one. This isn't just a story, it's a war for God's favor. And if you're here, you might already feel its effects. Have you ever faced someone who tried to control you, manipulate your mind, or make you doubt your worth? That's exactly how narcissist fallen angels operate. They disguise themselves as light, as wisdom, as love, but behind their mask is only jealousy, deception, and destruction. They can't stand the chosen ones because they know something powerful. God has chosen you for a greater purpose. So why does the enemy target the chosen ones so aggressively? Why do they try to break them down, isolate them, and steal their divine calling? Because they fear the power of those truly favored by God. But here's the truth. The chosen one was never meant to be defeated. No matter how dark the storm gets, light will always shine through. In this journey, we will expose the tactics of the narcissist fallen angel, understand why the chosen ones are constantly tested, and most importantly, how to win this spiritual battle. Stay with me till the end, because together we will uncover the truth and reclaim what was meant for us. Comment, "I am chosen" if you feel this message. Join our community, show some love, and let's walk this path together. Not all wars are fought with swords and armies. Some battles happen in silence, unseen by human eyes, yet they shape everything we experience. There is a war raging beyond what we can touch or see, a battle between the chosen one and the narcissist fallen angel. This is not a fight over land or power, but over something far greater: destiny, truth, and God's favor. A narcissist fallen angel is not just any enemy. It is a being that once stood in the light but chose pride over humility, control over love, and deception over truth. Consumed by jealousy, it now exists only to mislead, manipulate, and destroy those whom God has chosen for a divine purpose. And the biggest threat to them? The chosen one, a soul meant to bring light, wisdom, and healing into the world. But the fallen angel doesn't attack openly. No, its methods are far more cunning. It whispers doubt into the minds of the chosen ones, making them question their worth. It sends distractions, temptations, and even people disguised as friends, all to pull them away from their purpose. This enemy knows it cannot truly defeat a chosen one, so instead it tries to weaken them from within. Think about it. Have you ever felt like something was working against you, pushing you down every time you tried to rise? That is the unseen war. Every challenge, every betrayal, every moment of self-doubt may not be random. It may be part of this battle between darkness and light. But here's the truth: light always wins. The chosen one was never meant to be a victim. No matter how fierce the fight gets, the divine favor upon them cannot be stolen. The narcissist fallen angel may try to break them, but in the end, those who stand in truth will always rise. This war is not one of fear, but of awakening. The moment the chosen one realizes who they truly are, the enemy loses its grip. The battle is won not by fighting with hate, but by standing firm in divine wisdom, refusing to fall into the traps of deception. The unseen war continues, but the outcome has already been written. The chosen one is destined to win. Not everyone who shines is made of light. Some beings wear a bright, glowing mask to hide the darkness within. This is the nature of the narcissist fallen angel, a master of deception, twisting reality to bring down the chosen one. They appear wise, charming, even godly, but beneath their illusion is nothing but control, envy, and destruction. The narcissist fallen angel does not attack with open hatred. Instead, they pretend to be a guide, a protector, or even a friend. They speak words that sound like truth, but are filled with poison. They tell the chosen one what they want to hear, only to trap them in doubt, fear, and confusion. They offer love, but it is only a tool to control and weaken. This is how they operate, by twisting reality itself. They make the chosen one question their worth, their mission, and even their connection to God. They use manipulation to make their victims feel guilty for standing in their truth. If the chosen one resists, they shift tactics, playing the victim, creating chaos, and turning others against them. Their goal is simple: to make the chosen one feel powerless, lost, and unworthy of their divine calling. But here's the shocking truth: none of it is real. The narcissist fallen angel holds no true power, only the illusion of it. Their strength comes from deception, from making the chosen one forget who they really are. But when the chosen one sees through the mask, when they recognize the trap for what it is, the entire illusion collapses. Truth is their greatest weapon. The moment they stop believing the lies the fallen angels hold is broken. Deception may be strong, but it is no match for the light of the truly awakened. Not everyone is born with a divine calling. Not everyone carries the weight of something greater than themselves. But the chosen one does. They are set apart, guided by a higher purpose, and blessed with God's favor. However, this gift comes at a cost. It makes them a target. Dark forces, including the narcissist fallen angels, recognize the power within the chosen one. They see what others do not. They know that a fully awakened chosen one can bring truth, healing, and change into the world. And that is exactly what they fear the most. This is why the attacks never stop. The chosen one faces constant obstacles, betrayals, and moments of deep loneliness. People misunderstand them. Friends turn into enemies. Doors close before they can step through. These are not random struggles. They are part of a larger war. A war to break the chosen one before they fulfill their purpose. Dark forces use every trick in the book: manipulation, temptation, isolation. They plant doubts, whisper lies, and use people as weapons. They try to make the chosen one feel small, lost, and unworthy. Why? Because a chosen one who doubts their own power is easier to control. But here's the truth: God does not choose the weak. He chooses the strongest warriors, the ones who can withstand the storm and rise above it. The very reason the chosen one is targeted is also proof of their strength. The enemy does not chase those who are powerless. Every trial, every attack, every painful experience is a sign that the chosen one is walking the right path. And once they truly recognize their worth, no dark force can stop them. The narcissist fallen angel is not a warrior who fights with swords or brute force. Their greatest weapon is deception. They operate in shadows, distorting truth, twisting emotions, and creating illusions so convincing that even the chosen one can struggle to see through them. Their goal is not just to harm, but to weaken faith, plant doubt, and separate the chosen one from their divine path. These fallen beings thrive in manipulation. They do not attack openly, but instead whisper lies, subtly changing the way their victims see reality. They make the chosen one question their own instincts, their worth, and even their connection to God. They manipulate emotions, using guilt, fear, and false promises to keep their victims trapped in a cycle of confusion. One moment, they act as allies, offering guidance and support. The next, they tear down the chosen one, making them feel lost and powerless. This push and pull tactic is designed to exhaust the spirit, leaving the chosen one vulnerable and disconnected from the truth. Perhaps the most dangerous trick of the narcissist fallen angel is their ability to disguise darkness as light. They pretend to be wise, righteous, even holy. They use spiritual language, quote sacred texts, and present themselves as enlightened beings. But beneath the surface, their words are empty, and their intentions are dark. They do not seek to uplift the chosen one, they seek to control them. They twist scripture, manipulate divine teachings, and use half-truths to lead their victims astray. Those who do not have discernment may fall into their trap, believing they have found a source of guidance, when in reality, they are being led into deeper confusion. The illusions they create are powerful. They can make the chosen one believe they are unworthy of their calling. They can make them feel abandoned by God, lost in a world that seems to be against them. They manufacture betrayals, turning friends into enemies and filling the chosen one's life with unnecessary chaos. All of this is done with one purpose: to shake their faith. The narcissist fallen angel knows that a strong, confident, and spiritually awakened chosen one is unstoppable. That is why they seek to break them down before they can rise. But no illusion lasts forever. The moment the chosen one sees through the lies, the spell is broken. The truth is the greatest weapon against deception. When the chosen one remembers who they are, when they stand firm in their faith and refuse to be controlled by false narratives, the fallen angel loses its grip. Light destroys darkness, and truth destroys lies. The narcissist fallen angel can only manipulate those who are willing to believe in their illusions. Once their deception is exposed, they have no power left. The war is real, but victory belongs to those who do not waver in the face of lies. The chosen one is not meant to be deceived. They are meant to awaken. Not all who speak of God are truly of Him. Some wear the robes of holiness, but their hearts are filled with deception. The narcissist fallen angel does not come as an obvious enemy. Instead, they imitate divinity, disguising themselves as messengers of God to mislead, manipulate, and control the chosen one. They pretend to be wise, enlightened, and spiritually powerful, but beneath the surface, they serve only themselves. These beings have mastered the art of deception. They know how to speak in ways that inspire trust, using sacred language and divine promises to make others believe they are chosen by God. They claim to be healers, prophets, or even saviors, but their actions reveal the truth. They seek power, not righteousness. They do not guide people toward God. They guide people toward themselves. Their words are designed to impress, not to uplift. Their kindness is a performance, and their wisdom is a carefully crafted illusion. One of their most dangerous tactics is twisting sacred teachings. They do not create outright lies, but instead distort the truth just enough to mislead. They manipulate scripture, using it to justify their control over others. They present half-truths that sound divine but are laced with poison. Those who are not spiritually aware may fall into their trap, believing they are following a true messenger of God, when, in reality, they are walking into spiritual bondage. The narcissist fallen angel also thrives on spiritual intimidation. They act as if they are the only ones who truly understand God's will, making the chosen one doubt their own connection to the divine. They use fear as a weapon, warning of punishment or suffering for those who question them. They build themselves up as untouchable, demanding loyalty and obedience. And if the chosen one resists, they turn to shame, guilt, or even false accusations to break their spirit. But no matter how well they hide, truth always reveals itself. The chosen one must remember that real divinity is marked by humility, love, and truth, not arrogance, manipulation, and control. A true messenger of God does not demand power over others, but encourages them to seek God for themselves. When the chosen one sees through the imitation, the fallen angel loses its hold. The greatest deception is not an obvious lie, but a lie wrapped in the appearance of truth. But the chosen one was never meant to be misled. They were meant to rise, to see through the illusion, and to walk in the light of true divinity. For too long, the chosen one has been trapped in a web of manipulation, bound by lies, controlled by fear, and drained by the relentless attacks of the Narcissist Fallen Angel. These dark forces do not fight with weapons, but with deception, mind games, and spiritual oppression. Their goal is not just to harm, but to make the chosen one doubt their own power. They create illusions so convincing that escape seems impossible. But here's the truth. You were never meant to be their pawn. You were meant to break free. The first step in escaping their grip is recognition. The Narcissist Fallen Angel thrives in confusion, making their victims feel lost, weak, and unworthy. They manipulate through guilt, twisting reality until the chosen one begins to believe that they are the problem. They instill self-doubt, planting thoughts like, maybe I'm not strong enough, or maybe this is my fate. But these are not your thoughts, they are seeds of manipulation. Once you recognize that the battle is not just external but psychological and spiritual, the illusion begins to crack. Next comes detachment. A narcissist fallen angel's power lies in their ability to control emotions. They feed off fear, anger, and the need for validation. The more energy you give them, the stronger their hold becomes. But when you stop reacting, when you refuse to engage in their chaos, they begin to lose their grip. Silence is a weapon. Detachment is armor. The chosen one must learn to step back, observe, and refuse to be drawn into the endless cycle of manipulation. The third step is reclaiming spiritual authority. The narcissist fallen angel wants the chosen one to feel disconnected from God, but that connection was never theirs to take. Prayer, meditation, and seeking divine truth are the greatest weapons against deception. Light always exposes darkness, truth always destroys lies. The more the chosen one embraces their true identity, the weaker the fallen angel's influence becomes. The battle is not won through physical strength, but through spiritual clarity. Finally, cutting ties is essential. Not all battles require direct confrontation. Sometimes the greatest victory comes from walking away. The chosen one must recognize that not everyone can be saved, and not every enemy can be reasoned with. A narcissist fallen angel will never admit their wrongs. They will never change. The only way to truly break free is to remove their presence entirely, whether it be cutting toxic relationships, walking away from manipulative situations, or severing emotional ties. Freedom comes when the chosen one no longer seeks approval, no longer doubts their worth, and no longer entertains the illusions of the enemy. Breaking free is not easy, but it is necessary. The chosen one was never meant to live in chains. They were meant to rise, reclaim their power, and fulfill their divine purpose without fear, without doubt, and without the weight of manipulation holding them back. Every chosen one carries a light, a divine spark that sets them apart. But with that light comes resistance. The greater the calling, the greater the trials. It is an unspoken law of the spiritual realm. Those who are destined for greatness must first endure the fire. The narcissist fallen angel knows this, and so they strike with precision, attacking when the chosen one is at their most vulnerable. These trials are not random. They are meant to break the weak and refine the strong. The moment the chosen one steps into their purpose, the attacks begin. Doubt creeps in, betrayals cut deep, and obstacles rise like mountains. It feels as if the entire world is pushing back. Friends turn into enemies. Loved ones don't understand. Everything that once felt stable begins to shake. But this is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of transformation. The fallen ones have always feared the light bearers. They see potential before the chosen one even realizes it. Their goal is simple: to make the chosen one give up before they step into their full power. They plant seeds of despair, whisper lies of unworthiness, and create illusions of isolation. They want the chosen one to believe they are alone, abandoned even by God. But silence is not absence. Delay is not denial. The test of faith is not meant to destroy but to strengthen. So how does one withstand the fire? First, by understanding the purpose of the test. Every storm has a reason. It forces growth, reveals hidden strengths, and burns away everything that is not aligned with the chosen one's destiny. The fire does not consume, it purifies. Those who withstand it emerge unshaken, untouchable. Second, by refusing to break under pressure. The fallen ones use exhaustion as a weapon, wearing down the chosen one's will to fight. But endurance is key. Even when the path is unclear, even when the weight is unbearable, moving forward inch by inch is the greatest act of defiance. Faith is not about seeing the way, it is about walking despite the darkness. Third, by embracing isolation as a time of transformation. Many chosen ones are stripped of everything before they rise. Friends leave, opportunities disappear, the world turns cold. But this is not punishment, it is preparation. A warrior is never sent into battle without training. A leader is never placed in power without wisdom. The loneliness is a cocoon, a sacred space where the chosen one is reshaped, refined, and strengthened for what lies ahead. And finally, by knowing that no attack can destroy what God has chosen, the darkness can try, but it will always fail. The only way a chosen one loses is if they surrender. The fire is a passage, not a prison. It is the mark of those who are destined for something greater. So when the battle rages and the weight of trials feels unbearable, remember this: the stronger the light, the darker the attacks, but fire does not destroy gold, it reveals its purity. Those who endure will not just survive, they will rise, stronger than ever, unshaken and unstoppable. In the unseen war between darkness and light, one of the greatest battles is not fought with weapons, but with character. At the heart of this struggle is a stark contrast: spiritual narcissism versus divine humility. One seeks power, dominance, and control. The other seeks truth, surrender, and alignment with God's will. This battle has existed since the beginning of time, and it is the defining difference between the narcissistic fallen angel and the chosen one. The narcissistic fallen angel. Pride in disguise. The narcissist fallen angel is obsessed with power. They claim to be divine, demand worship, and deceive others into following them. But their so-called divinity is a lie. It is nothing but pride disguised as holiness. They present themselves as enlightened, wise, even godlike. But beneath the surface they are consumed by one thing: control. They manipulate by twisting spiritual truths, making others feel small so they can appear great. They reject humility, seeing it as weakness. To them, submission to a higher power is an insult because they believe they should be worshipped instead. They are not servants of truth, they are prisoners of their own ego. Their pride blinds them, and that blindness leads to their downfall. Just like Lucifer, the original fallen angel, they cannot accept that true greatness is not in ruling over others, but in serving a higher purpose. Their need for control keeps them in chains, forever trying to prove their superiority, forever afraid of losing their influence. The chosen one. Strength in humility. The chosen one, in contrast, walks a different path, a path of divine humility. Unlike the narcissist fallen angel, the chosen it. One does not seek power but truth. They do not manipulate or control. Instead, they surrender to something greater than themselves. They understand that true strength is not found in dominance, but in faith, wisdom, and the ability to trust in God's plan. Divine humility does not mean weakness. It is not about bowing to the world, but about standing firm in the face of darkness. The chosen one does not need to prove their worth to anyone. They do not chase admiration or validation. They know who they are, and that is enough. But because of this humility, they become a threat to the narcissistic fallen angel. Nothing angers a narcissist more than someone they cannot control. The chosen one's refusal to play their game, to feed their ego, or to fall for their illusions infuriates them. This is why the attacks never stop. The ultimate difference: control versus truth. At the core of this battle is one defining truth. Spiritual narcissism seeks control while divine humility seeks truth. The fallen ones fear losing their grip on others. The chosen one fears nothing but being disconnected from God. One clings to illusions of power, the other embraces the reality of surrender. And in the end, that is why the chosen one will always rise. Pride destroys itself. Truth stands eternal. At first glance, the battle between the chosen one and the narcissistic fallen angel seems unfair. Why would a loving God allow such intense suffering? Why must the chosen endure relentless attacks, betrayals, and spiritual warfare, while the narcissist fallen angel thrives in deception? Is suffering a curse, or is it preparation? The truth is, nothing happens without purpose. What seems like a punishment is often the process of transformation. The chosen one is not being destroyed, they are being refined. God allows this battle not to break the chosen, but to strengthen them. The purpose of the battle: since the beginning of time, God has never shielded his chosen ones from trials. Moses faced Pharaoh, David faced Goliath, Jesus faced the cross. Every great destiny comes with great opposition. The reason is simple: power without preparation is dangerous. Strength without struggle is meaningless. If the chosen one were given their purpose without resistance, they would lack the wisdom, endurance, and faith needed to carry it. Without the battle, they would not be ready for the victory. God allows this war because it separates the weak from the strong, the fearful from the fearless. Only those who endure will rise into their true calling. The role of the narcissistic fallen angel. It may seem as though the fallen ones hold power, but they are merely tools in the process. They are the storm that forces the chosen one to find their anchor in God. They are the opposition that teaches resilience, the deceivers that sharpen discernment, and the manipulators that force the chosen one to rely on divine wisdom. Without Judas, Jesus would not have gone to the cross. Without Pharaoh, Moses would not have led his people to freedom. Without the enemy, the chosen one would never discover their true strength. The narcissistic fallen angel, though evil in intent, unknowingly plays a role in the chosen one's transformation. Their attacks create the exact pressure needed to birth greatness. Suffering as preparation. God does not allow suffering without reason. Every hardship, every betrayal, every spiritual attack is part of a greater plan. The pain endured in battle is the very thing that builds the endurance to carry a divine mission. A soldier is not sent to war without training. A leader is not given power without first learning humility. The chosen one must walk through the fire to become untouchable. So, is suffering a curse? Number, it is the path to elevation. The battle is not meant to destroy the chosen one. It is meant to reveal who they truly are. The narcissist fallen angel does not attack with open war. They do not strike with swords or show their true face. Instead, they manipulate, they mirror, and then they betray. They study the chosen one, learning their strengths and weaknesses, then disguise themselves as allies, only to destroy from within. Their tactics are not random, they are precise, calculated, and deeply psychological. They do not want to fight the chosen one, they want to control them. And when control fails, they seek to break them. Studying the target. Before they attack, narcissistic fallen angels observe. They watch closely, learning everything about the chosen one, their dreams, fears, values, and vulnerabilities. Like a predator stalking its prey, they gather knowledge, searching for the perfect way to infiltrate. They will present themselves as someone who understands, someone who resonates with your soul. They will speak your language, share your passions, and reflect your emotions. But this is not connection. It is a trap. Mirroring and manipulation. Once they have studied the chosen one, the real deception begins. They mirror. They adopt the chosen one's personality, values, and even spiritual beliefs. They present themselves as a guide, a protector, or even a soulmate. They make the chosen one feel seen, understood, and special. But it is all an illusion. The fallen angel does not care about truth, only control. Their mirroring is a tool to create trust, and that trust will later be used against the chosen one. During this phase, they also gaslight. They rewrite reality, making the chosen one doubt their own thoughts and feelings. You're overreacting. That never happened. You're imagining things. Slowly, they weaken the chosen one's confidence in their own discernment. The betrayal. Once the narcissistic fallen angel believes they have control, they strike. They begin to devalue the chosen one, belittling them, causing doubt, and introducing fear. They attack the very things they once admired. What was once beautiful is now flawed. What was once powerful is now arrogant. Then when the chosen one is most vulnerable, they discard them. They betray, abandon, or turn others against them. And worst of all, they make it seem like it was the chosen one's fault. The cycle repeats. Once the fallen angel has drained the chosen one, they move on to another target, another soul to deceive. They repeat the cycle endlessly, always seeking control, always feeding their endless hunger for power. Breaking free, understanding these tactics is the key to escaping them. The chosen one's greatest weapon is awareness. By recognizing manipulation, refusing to be gaslighted, and standing firm in truth, the chosen one can break free. Because in the end, deception only works when the victim does not see it. And once the chosen one sees the truth, the fallen angel loses all power. There comes a moment when the chosen one can no longer ignore the truth. The world they once trusted begins to crack, revealing the deception beneath. The voices that once defined them, voices of doubt, fear, and manipulation, begin to fade. They are not who they were told to be. This awakening does not happen all at once. It begins as a whisper, a quiet realization that something is not right. At first, the chosen one may dismiss it, convincing themselves that they are overthinking, that the pain they feel is normal, that the betrayal they endure is just part of life. But deep down, they know the mask begins to slip, and the illusion starts to break. Seeing through the illusion. For so long, the chosen one has been trapped in a world carefully constructed by the narcissistic fallen angel, a world designed to keep them small. Through manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional control, the fallen one has shaped their reality, telling them who they are, what they should believe, and how they should feel. But the moment of awakening is when the chosen one finally sees past the illusion. They recognize the lies, the distortions, and the ways they were made to doubt their own truth. The once powerful voice of the narcissistic fallen angel no longer holds the same weight. The chains begin to loosen, and for the first time, the chosen one realizes they have always been free. This realization is painful. It means acknowledging the betrayal, facing the wounds, and accepting that the world they knew was never real. But it is also liberating, because in that moment, they remember who they are, not weak, not lost, but divinely chosen. Reclaiming divine power. The moment the chosen one wakes up, everything changes. The lies that once bound them lose their grip. The fear that once controlled them turns into fuel. The doubt that clouded their mind is replaced with divine clarity. But awakening is only the first step. Reclaiming power requires action. The chosen one must break the chains that have kept them bound, not just externally, but internally. They must unlearn the false beliefs, rewrite their inner dialogue, and step fully into their divine identity. They no longer seek validation from those who never valued them. They no longer shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They no longer let the fallen ones define their worth. This is when the real battle begins. The narcissistic fallen angel, sensing their loss of control, will try to pull the chosen one back into the illusion. They will guilt, manipulate, and even promise change. But the chosen one now sees clearly. They know that any attempt to return would be a return to slavery, to a life that was never truly theirs. The power of the chosen one. What the narcissistic fallen angel feared the most has now happened. The chosen one remembers their power. This power was never something external, it was within them all along. It is the strength to rise, the wisdom to see truth, and the courage to walk away from what no longer serves them. The fallen one's greatest weapon was deception. But now deception holds no power over someone who sees the truth. With this awakening comes responsibility. The chosen one is no longer just surviving, they are leading. Their journey becomes a beacon for others still trapped in the illusion. They become the light that guides others out of the darkness, proving that true power was never in control or manipulation. It was always in truth. And once the chosen one steps fully into their divine purpose, there is nothing the fallen ones can do to stop them. One of the most powerful weapons of the narcissistic fallen angel is isolation. Not the kind that is physical alone, but the kind that seeps into the soul, the feeling of being unseen, unheard, and completely alone in the battle. It is not by accident. It is a carefully crafted strategy designed to weaken, control, and break the chosen one. At first, it happens subtly. The chosen one might start noticing that their closest friends become distant, their family misunderstands them, or the people they trust begin to turn against them. It feels like the world is closing in and no one sees what is truly happening. The narcissistic fallen angel whispers, "No one cares about you. No one understands you. You are on your own." But this is not the truth. This is the illusion they create to strip the chosen one of their strength. Why isolation is their favorite trick. Narcissistic fallen angels know that a chosen one is at their strongest when they have love, support, and a connection to divine truth. So they do everything in their power to cut those connections. They create conflict. They stir misunderstandings, planting seeds of doubt in the minds of the chosen one's loved ones. Small disagreements turn into major rifts, and soon the chosen one finds themselves standing alone, wondering what went wrong. They spread lies. Through manipulation, they twist the truth. They make the chosen one look like the enemy, ensuring that others start to question their character, motives, or even their sanity. They foster self-doubt. By making the chosen one feel isolated, they hope to make them question their worth. If no one is standing with me, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am not chosen. Maybe I am the problem. These doubts are poison, designed to break the chosen one's faith in themselves and in God. They drain energy. Without support, without encouragement, the battle becomes harder. Tired, weary, exhausted. That is exactly where they want the chosen one to be. Too weak to fight back, too drained to seek truth, and too broken to rise. The truth they don't want you to know The reason they try so hard to isolate the Chosen One is because they fear their power. They know that when the Chosen One stands in divine truth, they are unstoppable. They know that when the Chosen One is surrounded by light, darkness has no place to hide. But here's the truth. The Chosen One is never truly alone. God has never abandoned them. Even in the silence, even in the loneliness, even in the moments when it feels like no one understands, the divine presence is there, watching, guiding, strengthening. The moment the Chosen One realizes that their strength does not come from people, but from within and from God, the spell of isolation is broken. Escaping the trap, recognize the strategy. Understanding that this is an intentional attack makes it easier to fight back. It is not a failure nor a punishment, it is a test, and tests are meant to be passed. Reconnect with truth, prayer, self-reflection, and seeking divine wisdom will reveal the truth behind the lies. You were never abandoned, you were never forsaken. Find the right people, the fallen ones. Remove the wrong people to make space for the right ones. Those who truly stand with the Chosen One will find their way back. New connections, filled with divine alignment, will take root. Strengthen inner faith. When the Chosen One learns to stand strong even in isolation, they become untouchable. The battle shifts, the darkness retreats, the Chosen One rises. Isolation is their game, but awakening is the Chosen One's destiny. And once they awaken, nothing can break them again. In the spiritual battle between the Chosen One and the narcissistic fallen angel, the darkness always seeks to destroy what is destined for greatness. The attacks come in waves: manipulation, deception, isolation, and doubt. But no matter how relentless the enemy is, there is one truth that cannot be changed. They cannot touch what God has blessed. There comes a moment in every Chosen One's journey where everything hangs in the balance. The trials, the suffering, the betrayals, all of it has led to this point. This is the moment of reckoning, where the Chosen One must make the ultimate choice: to rise in their divine power or to fall into the carefully woven deception of the enemy. The narcissistic fallen angel has been relentless, twisting reality, manipulating emotions, and planting seeds of doubt at every turn. They have mirrored your strengths, played on your weaknesses, and tried to mold you into something you were never meant to be. They have tried to isolate you, strip you of hope, and make you believe that you are powerless. But you are not powerless. This is the moment that defines everything. The battle that will determine whether you will finally step into your full strength or remain shackled by the illusions of the enemy. The fallen ones are masters of deception. They do not attack with brute force, but with whispers that sound like your own thoughts. They plant doubt so subtly that you begin to question your own reality. They make you feel unworthy, unloved, abandoned. Not because these things are true, but because if they can make you believe them, they can control you. They use your past against you, reminding you of your failures, your losses, your regrets. They twist the words of those you trust, distorting truth into lies so that you question everything, even your own intuition. And when they sense that you are on the verge of breaking free, they strike the hardest, throwing chaos into your life, turning people against you and making you feel as though the battle is unwinnable. But what they fear most is not your destruction, it is your awakening, because the moment you realize who you truly are, their power over you crumbles. This battle is not just about survival, it is about transformation. The Chosen One is not meant to simply withstand the attacks, they are meant to transcend them. The fire that was meant to destroy you is the same fire that will refine you. The suffering that was meant to break you is the suffering that will shape you into something unshakable. The enemy's greatest mistake is assuming that pain will weaken you, but pain is the catalyst for your evolution. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of despair, it was all preparing you for this final test. The question is, will you rise or will you fall? To rise is to see through the illusion, to recognize that the enemy's power is an illusion built on fear and deception, to understand that the chains holding you down were never locked to begin with. To rise is to reclaim your divine authority, to step fully into the truth of who you are. It is to look the enemy in the eye and say, "You have no power over me." It is to break the cycle of manipulation, to stop feeding the beast with your energy, your attention, your fear. To rise is to stop running and start standing, because the moment you stand, the enemy trembles. The battle has been long, the wounds deep, and the trials relentless. The chosen one has been tested, broken, and brought to the edge of despair. The narcissistic fallen angel has done everything in their power to manipulate, deceive, and weaken their spirit. They have used illusions to create doubt, isolation to break the mind, and suffering to drain the soul. But despite all their schemes, there is one undeniable truth that cannot be erased. The chosen one is destined to win. This victory is not by chance, nor is it by mere human strength. It is written in the fabric of divine order. God's favor is not given in vain. The trials that were meant to destroy you were actually preparing you. The betrayals that cut deep were lessons in discernment. The loneliness was a sacred space for growth. The suffering refined you, strengthened you, and removed every weakness that could have been used against you. The narcissistic fallen angel believed they were breaking you, but in reality, they were forging a warrior. The enemy thrives in deception, convincing you that you are fighting a losing battle. They whisper that you are too weak, too unworthy, too broken to continue. They throw obstacles, distractions, and even false victories to make you doubt your path. But what they cannot understand is that God does not abandon his own. Every hardship was already accounted for. Every wound was already healed before it was even inflicted. Every attack was already nullified before it could touch your spirit, because when God chooses you, no force in existence can take that away. Victory is not only possible, it is inevitable. The enemy's power is an illusion built on lies and manipulation. They hold no real authority over you unless you give it to them. They win only when you believe their deception. But once you see through the illusion, their power crumbles. The chosen one does not fight for survival, they fight for truth. And truth always wins. This does not mean the battle will be easy. There will be moments where it feels like darkness has the upper hand. There will be times when the weight of the world crushes your spirit. But the difference between the chosen one and the fallen is faith. Faith is the weapon that cuts through deception. Faith is what keeps you standing when everything tells you to fall. Faith is what turns pain into power. The narcissistic fallen angel may have influence, but they do not have divine favor. They may try to imitate light, but they cannot create it.